Have you ever noticed your dog letting out a slow, deep sigh right after they curl up next to you? Most people hear it and completely ignore it. But that sound, it's not random. It's not boredom. It's one of the clearest ways your dog is telling you, I feel safe with you. And that's just one of 8 powerful signals your dog gives you every single day that almost nobody notices. Welcome to the Dog Decoder, where we break down what your dog is really trying to tell you. Every day, your dog is sending you signals, small things you've probably seen 100 times, but never really understood. A quiet sigh, a simple look, a moment that feels normal, but isn't, because behind those little behaviors is something much deeper. In this video, we're uncovering 8 powerful ways your dog shows love, trust, and connection without ever making a sound. And once you see them, you won't be able to unsee them. Let's decode what your dog has been saying all along. 1. The deep sigh next to you. Have you ever been sitting quietly, and your dog walks over, circles once or twice, then slowly lowers themselves right next to you? And just as they settle in, they let out that long, deep sigh. Most people don't think twice about it. They assume it's just a dog being tired. Maybe they've had a long day of doing nothing. But that sound means something far more important. Because dogs don't fully relax just anywhere. Their world is built on awareness. Every little noise, a car door outside, footsteps in another room, a plastic bag moving. Their brain is constantly scanning, processing, staying ready. Even when they look calm, they're not fully off. But then they come to you. They lie down beside you, and something changes. Their body softens. Their breathing slows. Their muscles release tension they didn't even realize they were holding. And that sigh? That's the moment their nervous system finally lets go. It's your dog saying, I don't need to stay alert anymore. I don't need to watch everything. You've got this. Think about that for a second. Your dog, who reacts to the smallest sound, who notices everything, chooses you as the one place where they can completely switch off. That's not just comfort, that's trust at the deepest level. And it's easy to miss because it's quiet. There's no excitement, no jumping, no barking, just a slow exhale next to you. But in your dog's world, that moment is everything. Because out of all the places they could rest, they chose you. And in that choice, they're telling you something most people never hear. This is where I feel safe. 2. The head tilt. You say something to your dog, and suddenly they tilt their head to the side. It's one of the most familiar things dogs do. It looks cute, almost like they're confused or trying to be funny. And most people just smile and move on. But that little head tilt? It's not random at all. In fact, it might be one of the clearest signs your dog is actually paying attention to you. Because when dogs tilt their heads, something very specific is happening inside their brain. They're focusing. They're trying to connect with their hearing with something they already understand. Think about how you react when you're trying to figure something out. You might lean in, squint your eyes, pause for a second. That's exactly what your dog is doing, just in their own way. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Studies have shown that dogs who recognize words, like the names of their toys, are far more likely to tilt their heads when they hear those words. Which means this isn't confusion, it's processing. Your dog is actively trying to understand you, not just reacting to your tone, but actually listening, matching sounds to meaning, trying to make sense of your world. And that matters more than most people realize. Because your dog doesn't have language the way you do. They can't ask questions. They can't clarify what you mean. But still, they try. Every time you speak to them, every time they tilt their head and hold that position for just a second longer than usual. That's effort. That's attention. That's your dog choosing to engage with you instead of tuning everything else out. And in a world full of distractions, smells, sounds, movement everywhere, they chose to focus on your voice, not because they have to, because they want to. So the next time your dog tilts their head while you're talking, don't just see something adorable. See what it really is. Your dog trying, in the only way they can, to understand you. 3. When your dog leans into you. Have you ever just been standing there and suddenly felt your dog gently press against your leg? No warning, no noise, they just lean into you. Sometimes it's their shoulder, sometimes their whole body. And if you have a bigger dog, it's not just a lean anymore, it's full weight, like they decided you're the most comfortable place in the room. But here's the thing most people don't realize. They don't do this with everyone. They choose you. And that moment, it's actually more meaningful than it looks. Because when your dog leans into you, something real is happening inside both of you. Your bodies release a chemical called oxytocin. Now that might sound technical, but here's what it really means. It's the same bonding hormone that connects parents to their children. It's what creates feelings of trust, safety, and emotional closeness. And here's the important part. It's strongest when your dog is the one who starts it. Not when you pet them, not when you call them over, but when they decide, on their own, to come stand next to you and stay there. Think about what you do in that moment. You probably shift your weight a little. Maybe you rest your hand on their head without even thinking about it. And for a few seconds, everything just slows down. No words, no movement, just quiet connection. That's not random. That's your dog choosing closeness. In their world, they don't need much. They don't care about status. They don't care about possessions. What matters to them is simple. Who feels safe? Who feels familiar? Who feels like home? And when they lean into you like that, they've already made their decision. You're their safe place. You're the one they trust enough to relax next to without thinking twice. And in the simplest way they know how, they're telling you, I'm comfortable here. I feel good with you. I belong right here. And honestly, for your dog, that quiet moment of leaning into you might be one of the best parts of their entire day. 4. Your scent means everything to them. Let's talk about something you probably never think about. Your scent. Not your voice, not your face, just your smell. To you, it's nothing special. It's just your shirt, your blanket, the couch you sit on every day. But to your dog, it's everything. Because your dog experiences the world through their nose first. Smells aren't just background information to them. They're how they understand reality. And when it comes to all the scents in their world, yours stands above all of them. In fact, studies have shown that when dogs are exposed to different smells, strangers, other dogs, even their own scent, the one that activates their brain the most is yours. Not food, not treats, not anything else. You. Your scent triggers the part of their brain linked to reward, comfort, and happiness. Think about that for a second. To your dog, your smell isn't just familiar, it's emotionally powerful. It's calming. It's safe. That's why your dog will choose to lie on your clothes instead of their own bed. Why they curl up where you've been sitting. Why they'll grab your shoes, even when they're not supposed to. It's not mischief, it's connection. They're surrounding themselves with something that makes them feel close to you, even when you're not there. And here's the part most people miss. Your dog doesn't separate you from your scent. To them, it's the same thing. So when they find your shirt on the floor, they don't see laundry, they see you. And in that moment, they feel a little less alone, a little more grounded, a little more at ease. Because in their world, your scent is a signal that everything is okay, that they're safe, that their person is near, even if you're not physically there. So the next time you catch your dog curled up on your clothes, don't just think, why are they doing that again? Understand what it really means. They're not just lying on fabric, they're choosing the closest version of you they can find. And for them, that's more than enough. 5. They look at you before reacting. Imagine this. Something new shows up in your home. Maybe it's a box by the door, a suitcase in the hallway, or even just a random object your dog has never seen before. What does your dog do? They don't react right away. They look at you first. It's quick, sometimes just a glance, but it's there, and it means more than you think. Because in that moment, your dog isn't asking, "What is this?" They're asking, "How should I feel about this?" This behavior is called social referencing, and it's something human babies do too. When a child sees something unfamiliar, they don't immediately decide if it's safe or dangerous. They look at their parent's face. If the parent smiles, they relax. If the parent looks worried, they hesitate. Your dog does the exact same thing. They use you as their emotional guide. Think about how powerful that is. Your reaction becomes their reaction. Your calm becomes their calm. Your tension becomes their tension. And here's the part most people miss. They don't do this with just anyone. Studies have shown that dogs respond far more to their owner's facial cues than to a stranger's, meaning your expression matters a lot. To your dog, you're not just part of their environment, you're the one they trust to interpret it. So when they look at you in those small, quiet moments, before reacting, before deciding, before moving, they're placing their trust in you, completely. They're saying, if you're okay, I'm okay. If you're not worried, I don't need to be either. That's not just training, that's emotional reliance. And once you start noticing it, you'll see it everywhere. A noise outside, a new person entering the room, something falling on the floor. Before anything else, your dog checks you. So the next time your dog looks at you like that, don't ignore it. Because in that brief moment, they're not just looking at you, they're depending on you to make sense of their world. 6. They sleep better when you're around. Let's talk about something you probably haven't thought about. How your presence affects your dog when they sleep. Because it turns out, you don't just matter when they're awake, you matter even more when they're resting. Studies have shown something really interesting. When dogs sleep in the same environment, same room, same bed, same conditions, but without their owner nearby, their sleep actually gets worse. They wake up more often, they move around more, their deep sleep, the kind that truly restores the body, gets shorter. Nothing else changed, just one thing. You weren't there. Now think about that for a second. Your dog can be in a completely safe, familiar space and still not feel fully at ease without you. But the moment you're nearby, everything shifts. Their body relaxes deeper. Their breathing evens out. Their brain finally settles into real rest. Because to your dog, sleep isn't just about being tired. It's about feeling safe enough to fully let go. And safety, for them, is tied directly to you. That's why your dog chooses to sleep next to your bed, or curls up at your feet, or tries to sneak onto your couch when you're not looking. It's not just about warmth. It's not just about comfort. It's about proximity. Being close to you changes how secure they feel. Think about your own life. There are probably very few people who make you feel calm just by being in the same room. People who don't even have to say anything, but somehow you sleep better knowing they're there. For your dog, you're that person. And here's what makes it even more meaningful. Your dog doesn't question it. They don't analyze it. They just feel it. They know on a deep instinctive level that when you're near, they can finally rest without worry. So the next time your dog curls up close to you at night or quietly settles somewhere nearby while you're resting, don't just see it as a habit or something they've always done. See it for what it really is. Your dog choosing the one place where their mind and body can truly relax. Because in their world, being close to you is what makes everything feel safe enough to sleep. 7. The soft eye contact. Have you ever looked up and caught your dog already looking at you? Not at your hands, not at food, just at you. And there's something different about that look. Their eyes are soft, relaxed, almost quiet. No urgency, no expectation. They're not asking for anything. They're just there, holding that moment with you. Most people don't think much of it, but what's happening in that moment is actually powerful. Because when your dog looks at you like that, something changes inside both of you. Your brain starts releasing oxytocin, the same bonding hormone we've talked about before. And your dog's brain? It does the exact same thing. It creates a loop. The more your dog looks at you, the more oxytocin is released. And the more oxytocin builds, the more your dog wants to keep looking at you. Back and forth, a silent exchange that strengthens your connection without a single word. And here's what makes this even more special. Scientists tried to recreate this with wolves, even wolves raised by humans from birth. Nothing happened. No chemical response, no emotional loop. This kind of bonding, it only exists between dogs and humans, which means when your dog looks at you like that, it's not just instinct, it's a relationship that only your species share. Think about how rare that is. In a room full of distractions, sounds, smells, movement everywhere, your dog chooses to focus on you. Not because they need something, but because being connected to you feels good. And maybe you felt it too. That moment where you catch their eyes and something just softens inside you. You don't say anything. You don't need to. But somehow it feels like you understand each other. That's not imagination. That's chemistry. That's connection. So the next time your dog looks at you like that, don't look away too quickly. Stay in that moment. Because to your dog, that quiet eye contact isn't empty. It's one of the purest ways they know how to say, I feel close to you. And in that simple, silent exchange, they're choosing you all over again. 8. They try to talk to you. Have you ever noticed your dog doing something that feels a little too intentional to be random? They walk up to you holding something in their mouth. Maybe it's their favorite toy. Maybe it's something they weren't supposed to find. They drop it in front of you. Then they look at you, look at the object, then look back at you again. That sequence? That's not a coincidence. That's communication. Your dog is trying to tell you something. And if you don't respond right away, they don't just give up. They try again. They nudge it closer. They adjust their position. They repeat the same pattern. Because in their mind, they're not playing. They're speaking. Dogs don't have words, so they build meaning using what they do have. Movement, eye contact, repetition. It's their version of forming a sentence. Look at this. Pay attention. I want to show you something. And the fact that they keep trying means it matters to them. Think about how much effort that takes. They're bridging a gap between two completely different species just to connect with you. Not for survival, not because they have to, but because they want to be understood. So the next time your dog brings you something, don't just brush it off. Pause for a second. Look at them the way they're looking at you. Because in that small moment, your dog is doing something incredible. They're trying, in their own way, to have a conversation with you. And honestly, that might be one of the most meaningful things they do all day. Your dog may not know the word love. They can't say it, explain it, or write it down. But every single day, in quiet, simple ways, they show it. A sigh, a gentle lean, a look across the room. 8 small moments that mean more than most people ever realize. Now I'm curious, which one does your dog do the most? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to read it. And if you want to understand your dog on a deeper level,
Don't forget to subscribe to the Dog Decoder. We'll keep decoding what your dog has been telling you all along.